Dave Aranda and the Baylor Bears are back home after a resounding win in Lubbock. They know how to put on a homecoming weekend here in Waco. It's because Baylor started the homecoming tradition as we know it 115 years ago, and the Bears hope to go back-to-back against a team looking for its own breakthrough in Oklahoma State. The Baylor line is ready, and we are too. Watching the Big 12 on ESPN. It is a warm, late October day here at McLean Stadium for Oklahoma State and Baylor, both teams at 3-4, and hoping the second half of the season is a lot better than the first. And hi there and welcome inside. Be nice if the Texas heat would just chill. It's 86 degrees. It's almost Halloween. He's Charles Arbuckle, the former UCLA All-American tight end. I'm Ted Emmerich. 3 years ago, this was the Big 12 championship game. This year, they're fighting for bowl eligibility. They're showing signs of life. How about Baylor last week with their quarterback, Sawyer Robertson?
Quiet feet, getting the ball out on time to his weapons. Really comfortable throwing 5 touchdowns, but also, too, look at the blocking down the field. It was a team effort. They had been, you could see it was bottled up. He went back home, got some home cooking, got comfortable in his own crib, and then played like it. And then on the other side of it, Ollie Gordon, where you been, man? You were on the milk carton, but no, you showed up against BYU because you knew this team needed you. I think that's what they have to have this week, and they have to keep it going because Ollie Gordon had a great game last week. This Oklahoma State team has to have that today. They have to run the football effectively because Alan Bowman, he gets comfortable when Ollie Gordon is comfortable. That's what you need out of this Oklahoma State ball club.
Yeah, Mike Gundy and OSU were seconds away from a season-turning win against undefeated BYU last week. Dave Aranda on the other side. He poured a bucket of water on his hot seat last week with that win over Texas Tech in Lubbock. Huge Dodgers fan as well. Very happy about Freddie Freeman's walk-off grand slam last night in Game 1 of the World Series. Oklahoma State has won the toss. They defer. So Baylor to have the football first. And off we go from Waco. Jamal Bell, 6th in the country in kick returns this season, but Oklahoma State snuffs him out short of the 15.
Yeah, you got to get down and cover because he is an explosive guy that can make plays, and they know they have to rally to it.
Yeah, so Buck, Sawyer Robertson, the quarterback, he touched on him just a moment ago. He took over week 3 after the shoulder injury to Daquan Finn. Dave Aranda says he's not renting the position anymore. He owns it.
Yeah, he said it's yours. Go ahead on and let's make it your own. Put everything into it so we can be the team that we need to be to get to the next place.
Bryson Washington, coming off a career game himself, joins Robertson in the backfield. And Washington gets the call, stood up right at the line of scrimmage, and driven down after a gain of 2. You know, Buck, at least for Oklahoma State, they are getting some starters back on defense, including 2 safeties, Trey Rucker and Dylan Smith.
Yeah, they needed to have those guys back, and that's one of the things that they struggled a few weeks ago defensively. Played better against BYU. This team has to come to the party, all of them.
You saw Rucker right there getting the start. Robertson slings it, wobbly pass. It is caught by the tight end, and Michael Trigg makes a man miss, plus the stiff arm past midfield. Huge play. Trigg goes for 38. You gotta love that.
Well, tight end day tomorrow, right? You gotta have a big tight end to make plays for you. He can play wide receiver, but he's also effective at the tight end position. Very strong, physical guy. They want to get him the ball and then go tempo.
Jake Spavital, the offensive coordinator, told us yesterday, we feel like Michael Trigg is primed for a huge game. Washington again couldn't quite step out of the tackle. He picks up 3. Dylan Smith back in the lineup, makes the hit.
Ted, you can go tempo when you have big plays or when you get yardage like that, and that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to keep the tempo going and go fast.
Washington again, downhill, met by Jeff Robertson, and it'll be 3rd and 4 for Baylor.
And you also see where they're going, the left side of the line of scrimmage with Fugar and Lingell. Lingell wasn't even a guy that supposed to be the starter, and he's one of those guys that has come in and played 62. Watch him today. Watch how many pancakes. He tries to get pancakes because he loves that syrup on top of it.
3rd and 4, Washington yet again, and he's tripped up right at the line by Kendall Daniels, the converted safety. He's having a great year at linebacker.
That was a really, really good play by him because he had a guard and a tight end pulling, and he just went underneath and made the play.
Now 4th down, Buck. The Baylor offense remains out there here in plus territory.
Yeah, they've been aggressive when they need to, and this is one of those situations where they feel like they can't punt. They want to go for it here.
See the numbers on 4th down this year. Bears need 4. Oklahoma State brings the blitz, and Robertson's pass is offline. Robertson bringing the heat for Oklahoma State, and it's a turnover on down.
What did Brian Nardo say? I'm going to come from everywhere. I'm going to bring people from the stands on this particular one. Watch all of the pressure that's coming. They have pressure packages all the time, but on 4th down, they didn't sit back. They said, let's go get it. And you can see right there, Jeff Robertson, who's played well, was right there in his face.
So here is Alan Bowman, yes, right back to where Oklahoma State started the season at this position, with Garrett Rangel suffering the broken collarbone last week in Provo. His jersey number tells you exactly how many years he's been in college. 7th-year senior from Grapevine in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And a flag down right as Bowman takes the snap.
False start, number 2. Offense, 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
Casey Dunn or Mike Gundy, these are the things you can't have. These MEs or these mental errors you can't have. When you're on the road against a team like Baylor, you just got some momentum potentially. You can't have that. And those are the things that were hurting them when they were in this losing streak that they've been in. They've got to clean those kind of things up.
And penalties really haven't been an issue for Oklahoma State all year. They're 6th in the country in terms of fewest penalty yards per game. Swing pass, that's incomplete. Forward pass.
Ruling on the field is an incomplete forward pass, 2nd down.
It was intended for Sessi Vailahi.
I don't know the true numbers, but anytime you have a penalty, then you come back and compound it with the pass that's a little bit low. Bowman has to get that out to him so he can handle it. Maybe to catch that, but now you're in 3rd and long or 2nd and long situation where you shouldn't be. You should be ahead of the chains.
Bowman back to the air, screen for Ollie Gordon. And trying to spin, and it was Carl Williams, the 4th, there to meet him. It's a loss of a couple.
Yeah, Carl Williams looks like he knew the play. I mean, he was right there. Carl Williams is going to come downhill. You see a lot of that from these safeties and their corners. They have to play effectively. Carl Williams, that star position, he was a star on that play. Maybe you're a star, Carl.
I see what you did there. 3rd and 17. Gordon motions into the backfield. Bowman fires. Open man. It is caught. Day 1, Lofton breaking free. And finally lassoed near the 10-yard line. The Virginia Tech transfer pops off for 56.
Well, they pick up the blitz effectively. And look, Bowman has time. He just steps in the pocket, and Lofton, who has a few catches on the year, but none so big as that, gets down the field with a huge play. When you don't get home with pressure and your safeties and everybody on the back end miss, that's where you have a chance and a penchant for a big play.
Man down for Baylor, and we will step aside. Lorando Johnson, the corner, receiving attention. The 5th-year senior corner, Lorando Johnson, got back to his feet moments ago, shaken up on that 56-yard pass play from Alan Bowman to Dawan Lofton. Buck Johnson's already dealing with a broken finger. You see he's wearing with the club, and he had to limp off the field.
Yeah, he's frustrated with that because he knows he's trying to play, but just you've got to stay healthy, and it's hard for you to do this time of the year.
So 1st down for Oklahoma State at the 11 with that huge pass play. Bowman running the option. The pitch to Gordon. Got to find the edge, and he's wrangled by Garmin Randolph. It's a gain of 3.
I like what they talked about this week, Oklahoma State staff, about Bowman being willing to run. That is a simple example. You got to threaten the edge so you can pitch it out to Ollie Gordon so he can get around and make some yards.
No one's going to confuse Bowman with Garrett Rangel, a true dual threat, but Mike Gundy said it this week. That has to stay in the game plan moving forward so that Gordon has a little room.
3 or 4 yards, we're fine with those. But just make the effect of them being able to run possible by you being in the ball game.
Play clock running down here. And yeah, you see the comparison here. Wonder what the stoppage is about. Man down for Oklahoma State heading to the far sideline. So yeah, Buck, we see the numbers with Rangel at quarterback in the BYU game. It unlocked the
game
offense.
Clock operator, please reset the game clock to 11 minutes, 12 seconds. The clock had stopped for an injured player. Play clock operator, please reset the play clock to 25 seconds, please.
Yeah, so they add time here. Yeah, with Rangel, you saw the zone read keepers, the option, all of that. It's going to still be a part, even if Alan Bowman's not going to run for 50-plus yards. 2nd and 7. The toss. Gordon ran into his own blocker and got pushed back. At the 7-yard line, picks up 1 to set up 3rd down.
Yeah, whenever you tackle Ollie Gordon, you better come with a bunch of guys. Initially, I thought this run had somewhere to go, but look at this. Good job on the edge, and then all of those Bears just congregated. Matt Jones being one of them, but a bunch of guys there.
And a flag down, motion up front.
False start, number 74. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
D linemen are the biggest tattletales, but it matters in this game. Watch 74 just flinch a little bit. Oh, Preston, 41. Yeah, he went a lot. Now, he just said, look, I'm going to go a little bit, I'm going to tip, and then I'm just going to go. 41 starts, has played well this year, but you can't have that down here. You've got to stay silent in your stance. But those big guys on the other side, man, they will call you out if you jump, move a little bit.
Correction, it's 3rd down.
Yes, it is, Michael Vandervelde. So 3rd and 11. They need the 1 for the 1st down. Bowman retreating, and he tosses it away.
I want you to watch Garmin Randolph, the jack, he is able to just push back because he's in the pocket, didn't get outside the tackle box potentially, and it may not have gotten to the
number 7
line of scrimmage.
Offense. Lost it down at the final foul. 4th down.
Ted, the 2 things you look for, is he in the tackle box or does he get past the line of scrimmage? Watch 5, though, the jack take Jake Springfield and just push him back. I mean, the footwork is not good because he sees 5 pushing his lineman into him. He's like, what am I going to do? And that was a heck of a rush by Garmin Randolph.
So with the grounding penalty now, it's a 45-yard field goal attempt for Logan Ward. 10 of 14 on the season. And Ward knocks it through. So Oklahoma State does cash in, but with 3, not 7.
I want you to watch Lofton here in the slot, and then also this safety here. What you're going to see is Lofton with a heck of a hint move to give Alan Bowman a chance to throw that ball to him. Freeze it right there. Look at that safety. He knows now, oh, I'm coming down hard. Let it go. Now, you can see I got you biting, and I'm going by you. That is what you can't do as a safety because you're the deepest guy, and Alan Bowman knows that, pump fakes it, gets it down to Lofton. That's why that was a big play by that Oklahoma State offense.
Well, OSU had it down to the 11 as a result, Buck, but Bowman and the offense, they couldn't punch it in, the grounding penalty, and they had to settle for 3.
That penalty, and then other things happen, and then Garmin Randolph. If they keep this game and it becomes one where they get ahead and they needed those 4 points, Garmin Randolph on that rush was outstanding.
Logan Ward sends it away. Bell on the return again. And the stutter step might get dropped behind the 15 again. That's exactly what happens. So once again, Oklahoma State excellent on kick coverage.
Yeah, he faked himself out. I mean, he got there, and the carpet monster caught him for a little bit. There's nowhere to go. Look at all those lanes. We talk about lane integrity on special teams. There's nowhere for him to run. He sees all white jerseys, and there's no crease for him to get through.
David Kabongo made the hit there, so Baylor starting from its own 14 on their first drive, now the 13 here. They pride themselves on their special teams, and their return game hasn't been there so far. Poor field position again. Robertson rifles and incomplete. We wanted Josh Cameron, who had 3 touchdowns last week against Texas Tech.
Josh Cameron, man, is so good. You can just talk about how well he's played, but his coverage is outstanding. Corey Black with that stiff right there running in his hip pocket, grabbing a little bit, but hey, they don't call it. They don't call it, you know. And that was excellent DB coverage. As a receiver, you don't want his hands on you, but Corey Black was all over it.
Black, by the way, it's his homecoming on Baylor's homecoming. Waco native, has 10 friends and family in attendance. Robertson the scramble and the slide. They mark him down at the 18. He picks up 5 there to set up 3rd and medium.
Yeah, that was a smart play. Protection breaking down. He's able to just find some yards and make it a 3rd and manageable. This team has been pretty effective on, well, okay on 3rd down, 38.5%. You gotta usually want to stay at least 50% or more. And that's what they're trying to do today.
Oklahoma State brings the blitz up the middle. Robertson fires, and he connects with Hal Presley. Presley taken down near the 30 of Oklahoma State by Dylan Smith. A 53-yard missile.
Yeah, he's just in coverage with Cale Smith, and Cale gets lost in coverage, and what a nice throw. But also good job by Hal Presley of just beating his guy off the line of scrimmage and going and get it for Robertson. Robertson has a really nice deep play. You saw that one to Trigg, but this one here was just air, and he gave Presley a chance to run under it.
2 completions from Robertson today, 38 and 53 yards. Now give it to Bryson Washington. And he spills out to about the 27. Justin Kirkland makes the hit. It's a gain of 2.
It was great to talk to Dave Aranda and Jake Spavital, and he was saying about the air raid, how they come in, flip-flops, but they attack your weakness. Those are the things that we'll look for today. Can Baylor attack certain things for Oklahoma State?
Robertson stepping up on the shovel to Ashton Hawkins, the Texas State transfer. Creativity on the part of Sawyer Robertson, taken down just a yard short of the 1st down.
He said this is a big hand. This kid has hands like 11 inches. He just goes and says, I got to get it to you, Ashton. Ashton reaches back with that one hand, that glove, and makes a nice catch, and now they can go tempo.
On 3rd and a yard. And it's Washington lowering the shoulder for the 1st down, right into Dylan Smith. There is a flag down just ahead of the play.
This is what Baylor did very well last week. They were 7.7 yards per carry against Texas Tech. Somebody's down. Might be.
It's Washington.
Yeah, Washington, who has played so well for him.
There is no foul on the play. Result of the play is a 1st down, Baylor.
So let's hope he's all right. 2 touchdowns
Timeout on the
last
field
week.
for an injured player.
He averaged 11 yards per carry last week.
Now, Jake Spavital told us yesterday we've been looking for that physical downhill presence at running back, and Bryson Washington showed that last week, running for 116 yards.
That's the misnomer about air raid, because I think these guys are air raid 2.0, 3.0. They do want to run the football. They had 255 yards last week against Texas Tech. They want to be in that area every single week, Baylor, that is.
Sophomore Dawson Pendergrass takes Washington's place. 1st down in the red zone. Here is Pendergrass to the edge, and he is dropped. Jeff Robertson, no, a la Mutombo. It's a loss of 3.
I see what you did there. First 7 career starts, and he's just been all over the place making plays like this. They love how he understands football and the recognition and been going after it.
And Buck, remember, Robertson's the one filling in for the injured Nick Martin, who really isn't close, along with Oklahoma State's best edge rusher, Colin Oliver, still out. Hawkins motions across. Robertson the fake. Scanning. Stepping up. And almost intercepted by Kendall Daniels. Pendergrass was leaking out of the backfield, but Daniels almost had the pick.
When you look that many times and you have that many opportunities, take the ball and go with it. There's no way he's going to make that throw that late. Kendall Daniels, luckily for them, did not get that interception.
Yeah, that is a former safety and linebacker. 3rd and 13. Robertson on the draw and stumbles across the 15, picks up 6 yards. Well, so 4th down now, and the field goal unit trots on.
Ted, think about this. If he gets any yards that last play, then this will be a shorter 3rd down. He just trips on his own guy. Trips on Ryan Langell, his guard there. But still, put him in field goal range. Get the 3 points if you're Baylor.
Isaiah Hankins, 8 for 11 this year. He's from 30. And Hankins ties the score here in Waco. Here on homecoming weekend for Baylor. Even at 3, first quarter. Some of the homecoming flavor this weekend here in Waco. Baylor, the first college to put on homecoming as we know it. Back in 1909, Baylor beat TCU that day, Bucks 6-3.
Oh, wow.
You see the Sailor Bear logo there on the sleigh? Well, Baylor's got it on their helmets today, retro logo. It was created in the early 1950s by a former Disney employee named Arthur Evans. If only we got the Sailor Bear in a Mickey Mouse cartoon.
It looks Disney-esque.
Tied at 3, first quarter. As Baylor and Oklahoma State face off, both at 3 and 4. Brendan Presley on the return for the Cowboys. And he is taken down near the 20. Flagged down from behind the return. Jacob Redding made the stop.
Usually with this block in the back.
During the return, holding number 37, receiving team. Half the distance to the goal. First down, Oklahoma State.
And a lot of times when those guys are flying down at you at a certain speed, you're trying to catch up or catch them, and usually when you catch them, you get called for a hold. Done that a few times in my career.
You never got called for that. Come on.
I got called a few, but a lot more than I do, right?
You were an All-American. Come on.
Yeah, but when you play special teams, that's where it neutralizes, because you got to be able to get back, and especially if they have fast guys coming down at you.
Yeah, you see Bowman's numbers on the first drive. Most of that, the pass to Daylon Lofton. They had to settle for a field goal. And backed up inside the 10 with the penalty here. Gordon with a lane. And Ollie Gordon rips through. Tackled by Devin Lemire after a gain of 10. Move the chains, just like that.
Really good blocking up front. Look at this hole. Double team between the guard and the center. Ollie Gordon can just pick that area, and he comes off. But he really does a nice job. When he sees a hole, he puts that foot in the ground and sticks it and goes after it and gets downhill quick.
Now you see the numbers. First 3 games, such a struggle. Gordon and the Cowboys put the train on the tracks last week in Provo. Gordon again. And he picks up a couple this time. Yeah,
they're doing a lot of power, but also counter plays, and it's allowing him to pick those holes. He can cut backside, but a lot of times when they go that counter, they want him to stay online. And usually when you got a 3-3 look, if you get any kind of gap, that's where he can hit it, or a 4-2 look, which a lot of these teams in the Big 12 play.
He showed a little bit more burst last week, too, Buck, against BYU. Again, he gets the call right into the maw of the defense, picks up 2 more. You're talking about the nation's leading rusher a year ago, guy who won the Doak Walker Award as the best running back in the country.
He's on everybody's radar now. They know where 0 is, and you can see here this time the defensive line does a good job of stalemating the offensive line, and then the penetration, and then they bring 7 hats. It's hard to 1-on-7. And that's what Baylor has to do consistently against a guy like Ollie Gordon.
Fake it to Gordon this time, and the slant to Presley. Right at the sticks. There is a flag down in the secondary.
Presley is a guy that they really want to get the ball to. Been a little bit nicked up. They said, hey, don't worry, he's going to play it. We'd have to make him stay at home to not let him play in this ball game.
They did limit his practice reps this week.
Pass interference, number 2, offense. That penalty will be enforced half the distance to the goal line. Replay, 3rd down.
They didn't say that was a point of emphasis this year, but I've seen more of that call this year than I have in the last few years.
Yeah, so Buck, they call it on Talon Chetron, the sophomore wideout, freeing up Presley. Let's take a look.
You have trips outside, and then he runs in. And what you need, all he has to do, that's on him. Just run by the guy. He doesn't even have to block him because Presley's going to slant, and you're in trips. All you have to do is run by him and get his attention. That's going to open up the lane to throw the football.
And once again, Oklahoma State finds itself in 3rd forever. Bowman keeping. He's not going anywhere. Matt Jones, the 4-year starter at middle linebacker, drops him for a loss of 2. It's 4th down.
Not Mike Jones, but Matt Jones.
Who?
Matt Jones, making it happen. Look at him, all over the field, high football IQ. And, oh, no, I know I don't have a guy that can outrun me, so I'm going to get out there and make a play for you.
Jones thought he was gone at the end of last year, a 3-win campaign. Dave Aranda told him, you know that linebackers are the centerpiece of my defense. You're not good enough right now, but I can put you in the league. Come back.
Yeah, worked with him, understood what he needed, and said, let's get this better so you can be better.
Cameron on the return, the best punt return man in the country. And Josh Cameron weaves his way inside the Oklahoma State 40.
He just glides by people. There's a flag on the play, but man, he is so effective in the return game. When you watch the tape, you don't say, okay, he's blazing fast, Ted, but he just does that every time. Catches the ball and just glides, and then he has enough burst that he'll get by people, and you're like, man, he's gone down the field.
Buck, there was also a flag thrown behind the return. We'll get the call.
Former walk-on. It's going against Oklahoma State, I think. Because it came in kind of late. That's what made me think maybe there was something away from the ball. But they just talk about him, Cameron, being a guy that's just able to make plays and do different things. Look at him just glide by, effectively get down the field. It didn't seem to come from this area. It came from more the middle of the field. So I don't know.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 71, kicking team, 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a huge play against Oklahoma State after a nice return. Think about this. In their offensive series, that penalty really pushed them back. And now you have this. You're giving 3 yards to Baylor. Just you cannot stack those kind of things. You want to stack some positives.
You saw Aiden Kelly was explaining what he thought happened to his coach Mike Gundy, but he's still the culprit. And Baylor ends up with glorious field position. Quick look here,
left,
watch.
You'll see upper left. You'll see him come in. And really hard to see there, but.
And cut off there. Washington back in the game here for Baylor. Good sign for the Bears. And Bryson Washington takes it inside the 20 for a gain of 4.
Washington with 116 last week, two touchdowns. Also a really good, effective receiver out of the backfield.
Baylor coaches were so excited about him in the spring, but then an injury in camp right before the season slowed things down for him. Washington down to the 16 now, picks up 3.
And it's also interesting that they're doing more outside zone, which they don't like to do, or pin and pull, which gives him a chance to pick areas and run through. You know, he was injured for a few weeks early in the season, and now he's starting to come on, and he does everything for him. He's just a versatile guy.
Now, truly a breakout game for the redshirt freshman from Franklin, Texas. 3rd and 3 for Baylor. Blitz off the edge from Daniels. Robertson flushed. And this pass is intercepted. It's Kobe Hilton. Hilton breaking a tackle, and he's out across the 30. Red zone defense from the Pokes. Kobe Hilton with his first pick as a Cowboy.
Man, that was a great play by Kobe Hilton. Bad decision by Robertson, but man, he made him turn that over, and that was a nice job of instant offense. Look at these guys getting after him. And it's just Kendall Daniels is the one with the pressure. He thought he could get away. Kobe Hilton catching the football, and look at everybody else just trying to help him get down the field. This is where you make a mistake if you're Robertson. Kendall Daniels chasing him down, and then he gets right back up to block. That's the one thing you need. If you get that turnover, let's get going, guys.
Boy, Daniels just kept coming there, too, after Sawyer Robertson. So the takeaway for the Cowboys defense, and Alan Bowman in the offense out there. Gordon the hurdle, flagged down. Remember, Ollie Gordon went airborne in Provo last week for a touchdown. Gordon hurdling Devin Lemire this time.
Yeah, Ollie likes to hurdle now. I had a clip of him I put on social media showing it too, and he does it. He's able to get over 6'3", 6'4" guys easily.
Offside, number 21. Defense lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That's on Chateau Reed, the corner. Yeah, one more look at Gordon soaring.
Yeah, he gets outside, and then he's able to do it quickly, too. It doesn't take him long. Boom! Almost got pulled down, but he was still able to effectively get down there.
Gordon gets a breather now. Vailahi checks in on 1st and 5. And Vailahi gets smashed by Steve Linton. He lived in the backfield last week in Lubbock. He's got a TFL here, loss of 3.
Man, I saw him before the game when I was on the field, and he had a game face for a game face. And this is a huge play. He sees it, recognizes it, comes off the edge, and he respects Bowman. Just, no, he doesn't. He just goes after the runner because he knows Bowman is not going to pull that and go around the edge. Now, if I'm the Oklahoma State coaching staff, I will say if I see 10 blazing like that off the edge, Bowman, you pull it, you might be able to pick up a few yards on the outside.
At least present the threat to the defense. Final minute, first quarter. Bowman the sidearm. It's caught by Presley, shaking a tackle. And down to midfield. Brennan Presley, second all-time in catches at Oklahoma State, picks up 16 there.
I like watching him play because his yards after catch are as impressive as his catches. This is a nice snag. And watch here. He's just going to make a few guys miss, find different ways. He's going to try to run through the whole Baylor Bear defense if he can. He's been doing that for a good number of years. That's why they really like him in this offense.
Truly an Oklahoma State all-time great, Brennan Presley, the 5th-year senior out of Tulsa. Has a great shot at breaking Rashawn Woods' record there.
That is the end of the first quarter. Timeout on the field.
So the Pokes are on the move as we close out the first quarter. Kobe Hilton got the ball back to the Cowboys offense.
The worst thing you can have is a guy coming free off the edge, and what you're going to have is Steve Linton coming into the backfield right there. He's able to just freely get after the running back, and it doesn't allow him to even get going. And Alan Bowman, you could see him looking out there knowing next time he could pull that and have some free yards to run. It wouldn't look pretty, but he would get down the field.
So we start the second quarter here in Waco. But Ted Emmerich, Charles Arbuckle, our entire crew. Oklahoma State and Baylor tied at 3. First meeting in a couple of years. Oklahoma State does have it at midfield. And Alan Bowman skies it to Brennan Presley. Presley out of bounds at the 25. Another big catch for Presley on this drive. 26 yards this time.
Really nice route by Presley also. He went inside, got the DB turned around, and was able to come out. You're going to barely see it on your screen, but you see at the very corner, he was able to almost run that sail and turn the defensive back completely around.
Now, Presley didn't have a catch last week until the final drive against BYU. Even he had 5 in the touchdown. He has been involved early here today. Bowman puts some air underneath it to the end zone. 2 flags thrown. Incomplete, intended for Talon Shetron. LeVar Thornton Jr. with the coverage for Baylor.
When you don't get your head around and you don't make an attempt on the ball, that puts you in a position where you're going to get called for pass interference.
Pass interference, number 25. Defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
The other thing is you have to also concentrate at the stadium. The sun is right in the receiver's eyes, but he's running right through Thornton, and Thornton never turns around. Easy call for the officials to make. But again, in that corner, when the ball is up in the air, it could be very difficult to catch, because in that corner where I was standing and I looked up, it's a glare. I can only imagine what it is for the players.
So with the penalty, the Cowboys have it at the 10. First and goal. Gordon with space. And Gordon lost the football. Scooped up by Steve Linton. And Baylor has it. Keaton Thomas forced it. Linton scooped it up. And Baylor takes it right back.
Ted, does anybody want this ball game? I mean, Ollie Gordon gets into open space, and you think he's getting ready to run that ball and almost take it into the house. But Keaton Thomas, who has been playing well, comes in, and then you also have another defensive back coming in and knock it out. That's Matt Jones. It's Keaton Thomas and Matt Jones converging, knocked the ball out of Ollie Gordon. Those 2 guys have been playing well. 11-2 for this Baylor defense. Have been really playing well, and that's where they tighten up. Dave Aranda talked about, hey, how do we just compete? How do we grind? How do we get uncomfortable in a situation when we want to win?
You see the numbers, Buck. Stark improvement this year with Dave Aranda taking over the defensive play calling. Pendergrass finding an alley. Dawson Pendergrass has open field. And he's dropped at the 50. Cale Smith saves the touchdown. A 48-yard eruption.
One fear you have is if you bring everybody on a run blitz, there's no one in the second level, and the third level gets beat. And Pendergrass doesn't look fast when you watch him on film, but man, he was moving. Got down the field quickly.
So much for poor field position after the turnover. You're taking the snap in your end zone, and now you're at midfield. Now Robertson taking a shot. He's got Baldwin, and it's almost intercepted. Kobe Hilton almost had his second pick as Robertson underthrew him.
Yeah, poor throw by Robertson. This is the area where they call shot plays, generally when you're the 45 to 45. And you have a chance with the guy who has speed, get that ball out there. That's one what Sawyer wants back. He's been a good leader. That's just Hilton almost had another pick, but Sawyer had the opportunity there for a nice deep throw.
That's the one guy you shouldn't underthrow. One of the fastest players on the team, Monterey Baldwin. Back into the belly of Pendergrass. And Dawson Pendergrass has another crease. Oh, how about that move? Pendergrass inside the 20. And he runs out of gas near the 12. Kendall Daniels, the tackle this time. D-Pendy, as they call him, with 39.
D-Pendy, show me something. First, it's the patience here. Then get through the hole. Now watch this. Oh, gotcha. I'm going. Oh, man, how did he make him miss like that? And then Kendall Daniels has to come and catch him. I'm sorry I got excited, but goodness gracious.
2 carries, 77 yards for Pendergrass on this drive that started at the 1.
The Roots had a great song, Coming to Break You Off. That's what Pendy did right there.
Washington back in. Robertson uncorks. And Hal Presley snags it for the touchdown. He just mossed Cam Smith.
That was a heck of a makeup throw as well. Ted, our angle here is perfect. That's going to the pylon. It goes right over the helmet of the defensive back into the hands. Oh, my goodness. That was outstanding. And Presley just plucks it out of the air.
Presley at 6'3", had the 3-inch height advantage on Cam Smith, the corner, and Presley's got his 3rd touchdown of the year. Hankins adds the extra point. How about a 99-yard touchdown drive?
Hey, man, and also, how do you come back from a poor throw? You go with this one. Look at this ball right over the helmet into the hand. Boom! Randy Moss, you better call me out this week. Sawyer Robertson excited. You get past the first level and the second level. The third level has to make the tackle. Right here, you're going to see Trey Rucker come up. Freeze it right there. Look at Trey Rucker. He has to make this tackle. The umpire is a little bit in the way, but it doesn't matter. Now he has to go in. His angle was a little off, and that let Pendergast get down the field and effectively run that football. Those were 2 gash plays by Pendergast that set up that touchdown by Presley.
Yeah, Buck, 2 carries, 77 yards, yet another one. Later in the drive, it ends up with a touchdown to Hal Presley, and we've had plenty of chunk plays so far here in Waco.
And Trey Rucker is a guy you want on the field, but he has been a little bit nicked up. And sometimes when you're coming back to game action, that can put you in a position where you're a little rusty.
So Baylor just had a 99-yard touchdown drive. What about the Bears' defense
Their
so
defense
far?
has played well, Ted. I mean, they have been there. When you see Ollie Gordon getting the football, you know it's a hat to a hat. And then also Bowman, they're not letting him get outside. And then the forced fumble by Jones and Thomas forces this Oklahoma State offense to try to figure it out because they've driven the ball well, just haven't been able to score it.
Now that Gordon fumble right on the doorstep, such a killer.
And last week against BYU, that's what they did well. They played good, clean football and almost won that game.
Bowman keeps it. Into the flat for Rodney Fields, the true freshman who made his debut last week. He has a little bit of juice. The coaches really love him.
Yeah, I like him. He flashes on tape. He got in there against and he was game. I mean, he doesn't know where he's going to be all the time. You can see Bowman kind of telling him, but he is effective as a player, and he's got some juice and some speed.
Now the only question with Fields is, are they going to redshirt him? He can play in only 2 more games at this point to preserve his redshirt this season. Bowman underneath, Presley. It's a first down, and Brennan Presley just shy of the 40-yard line. He picks up 12.
And Presley is so good at getting open. I mean, he's receiving what he's able to do, and then Bowman knows he's going to be there, and he just gets the ball out to him. That's why he just keeps going up the chart of one of those Oklahoma State great receivers.
Now Fields with the carry. He crosses the 40, picks up a couple.
You also have an offensive line that has really started to play better. They were a little bit shaky earlier in this 4-game losing streak. Last week, I thought they played one of their better ball games.
And a surprise with returning starters across the board. Of course, they are without Dalton Cooper this week. The left tackle is going to be out a while. So Isaiah Glass, who played a lot earlier at right tackle, takes a spot. Underneath Fields. And Fields in Baylor territory. Taking advantage of that zone look. DJ Coleman made the tackle, 21 yards.
You know what I love, Ted, too? The young guy, Hope, protects the football. Knows, hey, I'm not going to get this ball knocked out. Let's drive down the field. Let's get our team a touchdown here.
Back to Presley. And tripped up along the perimeter by Corey Gordon Jr. Picks up 4.
Yeah, Corey Gordon Jr. made some nice tackle because it looked like things were blocked up for Presley.
Now, the coaches say that Presley's been going 100 miles per hour in practice and in games for 5 years now. So they have basically taken away his helmet at practice to preserve him for games. Presley wants to be out there to take every rep.
He's not in this play because they probably say, hey, look, you've had some effectiveness. Let's get you a breather on this one.
Now Fields trying to spin out of trouble. A short gain this time as Steve Linton covers him up.
Well,
Third down.
Oh, sorry about that, Ted. Also, you have a 6'2" guy in Ollie Gordon and then 5'9". Sometimes it's hard to find Fields behind those big, tall offensive linemen. Coming back with Presley again. You can see he wants to be in the game for money down. in a place where they need him. They have to pick up this third down to keep this drive alive.
And they keep Fields in there as well in favor of Ollie Gordon. 3rd and 5. Screen for Presley. Met immediately. Presley breaking free, though. Presley down the sideline. How did he stay in? It's a touchdown.
Wow.
Sideline magic from Brennan Presley. 33 yards.
How did he get out of the tackle of Chateau Reed? Reed is there. He's there on the play. And then Presley, how does he stay down the sideline? He doesn't go out of bounds. Wow. And then the block down the field, and he's still able to get in. That shows you some strength. Reggie Bush, the second, couldn't push him out. Man. I'm telling you, man, he is a heck of a player. Those little things like that.
The touchdown is under
Yeah,
further
we're going
review.
to take a look and see if he went out of bounds, but I didn't see it, Ted.
Now we'll see if Presley stepped out along the way. Again, called a touchdown on the field.
Ted, it takes us back to talking about what Mike Gundy was talking about. Let's see here. Doesn't go out there. Yeah, it's a touchdown. I didn't see him go out at all. But Mike Gundy, remember we said, who are the guys
After review, ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
that are keeping the team together? One of the first names he said, Presley. Because if you're losing, it ain't about the coaches. It's about the players. The coaches can put you in position to make plays, but that's not a touchdown normally. You should be stopped for a tackle for loss. But what did Brennan Presley do? He takes it to the house.
Mike Gundy said that his team is practicing better than some of his teams that have been 7-0 at this point. You might laugh at that if you're an OSU fan, but bottom line, the team, the players are still invested, especially Brennan Presley.
Brennan Presley, when you break a tackle like this and you know you have a chance to go to the house, you just keep going and going and going. You might go back to Oklahoma City or past that and go back to Stillwater.
Brennan Presley just helped Oklahoma State tie the score. 33 yards, tight-roping the sideline. Remember Malcolm Rodriguez a few years ago, the linebacker now at the Lions?
Yes.
Mike Gundy this week compared Presley to Rodriguez, undersized, unheralded, and yet he gives everything possible every single Saturday.
Well, he's one of those guys that makes you want to have him on your team. Because you know whatever you do and they ask him to do, he's going to do it and then some.
Gundy also said that Presley is going to get into an NFL camp and no one will be able to cut him.
He'll play 15 years. He'll be like Troy Brown or somebody because they were undersized, always slept on, but then just find a way to every year beat whoever is coming in to take their job.
Jamal Bell, the Nevada transfer, so good in the return game. He has been hemmed in so far, made it past the 25 this time. Well, how about Baylor's previous drive? They went 99 yards.
Pendergrass, what? I mean, you can't ask for a better thing with Pendergrass running here. That first one just set it all off. And then the breaking down of the defensive back again. Boom, boom. I got you. Those were impressive runs. And then this touchdown pass was spot on by Robertson after he missed on an earlier.
Yeah, so the Presleys have scored both touchdowns today. Hal for Baylor, Brennan for Oklahoma State. Bryson Washington, beg your pardon, it's Richard Reese with a big run this time. Reese out across the 50.
Well, with Richardson out, it gives you a chance now to see a little bit of Reese. And Reese has some explosiveness as well. They've got 3 guys that can tote this ball, and that's why they've been feeling really comfortable with this offense here lately.
Reese just returned from injury last week. Former Big 12 Offensive Freshman of the Year. Robertson sails it. Incomplete. A flag is down. Baldwin got pushed by Kobe Hilton.
Yeah, that was an easy call. Kobe just pushed him, and it was just those 2 guys out there. He got caught up in the play. And
Pass interference, number 0. Defense, spot foul, automatic, first down.
Transfer from UTEP in Louisiana.
It's now 60 yards of penalties for Oklahoma State.
Yeah, he gets caught because they're doing a cross, and he knows he can't get back there and cover it. So he just takes that pass interference call.
Robertson unloads, and he's got Baldwin this time. The leaping catch by Monterey. Baldwin out of bounds at the 15.
Robertson starting to heat up now with his throws. That was a really nice ball in that sweet spot of that defense. And again, this air raid offense gets you where you're weak. And Robertson's starting to find those weaknesses of the Oklahoma State Cowboy defense.
Bryson Washington back in at running back. And Washington runs into Justin Wright. Tulsa transfer in his second year with Oklahoma State. He's coming off injury.
He just looks like a linebacker, doesn't he? Neck roll.
Yes, that's old school.
That's a old school right there.
They call him Psycho for a reason.
They don't call it a neck roll. It's like that neck thing in the back, but Psycho. I can see why.
Got that nickname when he was a 6-year-old playing Pop Warner. Now Robertson on the keeper. And Robertson's inside the 10, short of the line to gain there. Dylan Smith made the tackle.
Robertson's been watching Pendergrass. He was trying to put a little move in open space. But he's going to see this opening there because the edge comes in hard on the fake. Nice run by him and trying to get around the edge there. Dylan Smith with a nice tackle.
3rd and a yard. Washington plowing, and I don't think he got it.
I don't think he did either. But is it offside?
Hit him. Flag is down. You're right, Buck, at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. I didn't see the offensive line moving. No, I didn't. It wasn't a legal formation. I think it's on Oklahoma State.
Offside, number 95. Defense lined up in neutral zone. Yeah. After this is to the goal, automatic first down.
Jaleel Johnson was lined up, and he was a guy that was a little bit questionable. Jaleel Johnson is offside right there.
Results in a first down.
Right, he lines up in the neutral zone and doesn't look down to check himself, and he's offside.
Again, Buck, penalties have been such a story in this first half for Oklahoma State. They've been awfully disciplined all year. 1st and goal. Washington hammering, churning, still going, getting help from his quarterback down to the 2.
Hey, I love the fight by both teams, man. They were just like, Washington is in. I'm trying to get in, and Robertson's trying to push it. But look at this Oklahoma State defense. Man, they are just fighting. 5, 6, 7. He's trying to take them all on. Dylan Smith is like, no, I'm holding on. You're not going. No, I refuse to let you get in there this time.
Kobe Hilton was in on that tackle, and he is down to his knees for Oklahoma State as the training staff comes on.
Ted, 2, 3, and 4 teams, they're not playing like it. And both coaching staffs talked about that. You're seeing guys fly to the football. I mean, they're just battling on every single snap.
Both know they've got to win 3 of their last 5 to become bowl eligible. Good to see Hilton on his feet. For Oklahoma State, they don't want to be the team that lets go of the rope and end the bowl streak. It has been 18 consecutive years that Mike Gundy has led OSU to a bowl game and a winning season.
When I read that, I was just like, that is crazy. 18 straight bowls.
Just trying to keep Baylor out of the end zone here. 2nd and goal. Pendergrass is in. Boy, how about that with the rushing yardage so far? Robertson. It's a touchdown. Matthew Klopfenstein, the tight end, with his first career touchdown.
Klopfenstein doesn't get a lot of opportunities. It's usually Trigg, but right here, the play fake and then just pounce up. I thought they were going to jump pass, and then he goes outside to the big tight end for 6 points.
Had that look like Tebow back with Florida, didn't it? But he never jumped. He just let it go. And Klopfenstein, normally a blocker, gets a little shine in the end zone the first time in his career. And Hankins makes it 17-0 Baylor.
We got to be excited.
You're excited. The former tight end. Charles Arbuckle loves to see this.
Jake Spavital said he wanted to run the football effectively. Here you have the quarterback and the running back, Reese, in the backfield. Look at the blocking there by the offensive line, and then Reese just sneaking through. The one key thing with this offense today, they had 255 last week. This week so far in the first half, 151 yards. They are running the football effectively, and that's what makes this offense really tick.
They're taking advantage of what is one of the worst run defenses in the country in Oklahoma State. It's been chunk play after chunk play. You see the progress, really lack thereof, the last couple of years. Dave Aranda going in the wrong direction. Aranda has taken over, but the defensive play calling duties this year, it's the first time he's called plays since the 2019 national championship year when he was the defensive coordinator at LSU. He says that he has simplified the scheme the last couple of weeks, and you know, he's always tried to call the perfect play based on formation.
And that's what's effective. 2 weeks in a row, I saw Vandy and Clark Lee is doing the same thing as the head coach. Now Dave Aranda here. Saying I had to get back to my roots and understand and help my players play better and let them take some ownership in the calls that I make as well.
Oklahoma State would love to get their run game going a little bit. Saw the numbers. Ball into the air. Presley takes a stick. Carl Williams, Devin Lemire there to meet him. Gain of a yard.
Carl Williams out of Baton Rouge coming downhill. Listen to this, y'all. I've heard a few of those in my life. But Presley just gets on up. Says, that's all you got, Carl?
And Williams, Texas Tech went after him quite a bit last week. He was coming off a knee injury, much healthier coming into today. Swing it to Bailahi. And Bailahi is snowed under. It's Devin Bobby this time getting low to make the hit.
Oh, boy, he almost faked himself out. Really nice open field tackle by Devin Bobby. Yeah, he has 35 tackles coming into this game this year out of DeSoto High School. DeSoto, excuse me. I know that being from Texas, up in the Dallas area.
Third and 9. Bowman's completed his last 11, and he has to bench this one. Fourth down.
That's not what that offense wanted to do there. That's the one thing Baylor's been doing, though, when you watch them on film. They've really tightened up on third down. And it's made their third down defense better, especially the last few weeks.
West Paul on to punt. Flag is down at the line of scrimmage. Cameron calling the fair catch. Took a hit there. And he wants a flag at this end of the field as well. I don't see one there, but there's a flag down back at the 25.
Yeah, his own man ran into him, trying to protect.
Illegal formation, more than 4 players lined up in the backfield. Kicking team, that 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the kick. First down.
Let's take a trip inside Dave Aranda's office.
Oldest girl is in Wisconsin, and my Jalen, my middle girl Jordan, is a senior now, and then my son Ronan is a freshman in high school, but I still think of them this way. This I got from Coach Taff. No stronger than the weakest link, and so I see that every morning. And just, you know, Coach has been just inspiration to me, and it's, you know, I so much want to be able to have an effect on the kids.
How about that? The memento from the College Football Hall of Famer Grant Taft, the Baylor legend, as Washington carries for 5 on first down.
Yeah, Grant Taft is an icon in this area. You know, he was head coach here when I was in high school, and I got recruited by Baylor, but he is a guy that, look, that plaque right there says it all. And that's how he built this team and built this organization and program.
A couple of championships in the Old Southwest Conference under his watch. Robertson taking off. And Robertson has a canyon inside the Oklahoma State 40, chased out by Rucker. 28 yards on the scramble. There is a flag down from behind the play.
Well, that might be why Robertson had so much room to run. Every time they're getting in the
holding, number 62. Offense, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Still second down.
It's become a one-on-one situation, and even though that's going to come back, and that's we talked a lot about him yesterday, Lindell.
You love watching him on tape.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, he gets in trouble. But hey, his first block last week against Texas Tech was a pancake. He's got a mullet growing. Black people, we call it shag, but I know that. But anyway, he's just, you know, one of those guys that's like shouldn't be playing, but he is because of he's nasty, and I like it.
I want more hairstyle talk from you, Buck, at the half. So backed up, Robertson fires incomplete.
Ted, I'm just trying to help you. If you ever go to a black barbershop and you say, I want the 1, 2, or 3, you know what you're talking about. Man, Robertson's hurt. Let's hope he's okay. He took a shot. They're going to come with pressure. This is what Oklahoma State said they had to do. They had to get to him when he was back there. And he's taken down by Kendall Daniels.
Daniels has been chasing after him all day. Robertson down. He took the job when Daquan Finn, the Toledo transfer, was hurt early in the season. And we were told that the availability of Finn today would be in question, not because of the shoulder that he's come back from, but because of a wrist injury that Finn suffered in practice. And so the true freshman, Nate Bennett, very well might be the backup today for Baylor. We were told just before the game. But the good news for Baylor is that Finn did dress out, and he is throwing passes, warming up here as Robertson receives the medical attention.
You know, Robertson's a tough guy, so I think what's going to happen is Bennett would come in. Finn is available if they need him, it looks like. They don't want to do it yet because he's been practicing and throwing, but he's not quite ready. And Robertson, you know, took a shot. He's a tough guy. He'll hopefully he can come back. He'll take a breather.
It is Nate Bennett, the true freshman from Westlake Village, California, who has thrown one pass in his very young career. That was against Tarleton in week 1. And he leads the offense at least for a play here, assuming Robertson is all right to come back in. And they'll let Bennett throw it. Toward the sideline, he skipped it in to Trigg. So it's 4th down.
And the other thing, the injuries to the receiver room has forced Trigg also to be a receiver / tight end. They've got to use him in some of those situations because Ketron Jackson is out, and he was a key contributor to this offense, so they need that extra receiver to step up, and they're using Trigg in that position.
Palmer Williams, the sophomore, is the nation's leading punter, averaging just under 52 yards a kick. First time we've seen him today. Flag down as he booms it. And Williams gets knocked down. Presley on the return here. And angled out just across the 30. So flag at the line of scrimmage. 2 flags for the contact on Williams.
That was just a lot of flags. Any official have a flag left?
No. And they've been throwing them frequently today, Buck.
They have.
Yeah, before whatever this turns out to be. Again, penalties, major issue for Oklahoma State today. They've been disciplined all year. let's see what this one's about.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Illegal formation, number 47, kicking team. Personal foul, roughing the kicker, number 17, receiving team. Those fouls will offset. 4th down.
So we'll do it all over again.
I've always said this, though. One is more egregious than the other, but then they cancel each other out. Legal formation, and then this is the running into the
Correction,
kicker.
that foul was on number 14 for Oklahoma State.
But they offset, so now you have to do it again. The play never happened to him.
Yeah,
Is
that's
that what
right.
they're talking? Yeah. Wipe it from our memory. At home,
Men
you
in
wipe
Black
it from
style, right? Erased. Click.
Well, let's see if we get the formation right, and let's see if we don't have anyone else running into the kicker.
Not Williams' best work this time. Takes an Oklahoma State bounce, and Cowboys will have it at the 36 with 3:24 to go in the half. Just a 33-yard punt there. You saw Presley was looking to call the fair catch, and yeah, one of his own guys ran into it.
R.J. Lester ran into him. He's going to say, R.J., man, help me out. I get hit enough by the defense. I don't need you doing that to me now. That's a cornerback he was trying to help him, trying to be the gunner.
So 3:24 remaining in the half. Cowboys do have the ball to start the second half. All 3 timeouts plus the 2-minute timeout here. Jake Schultz, the tight end, in the flat. And down at the 40.
Second catch on the season. Moved from linebacker to defensive end in the spring of 21. Then he moved back to tight end, fullback in 22. So he's been versatile for him and can play fullback, H-back, tight end. They use him in a lot of different spaces.
Gordon sticks his nose in for a couple, and it's 3rd down. See if Oklahoma State takes this down to the 2-minute timeout.
One where you have some opportunities. You need to try to get some points. They're moving a little bit more methodical than I like.
3rd and 3. Don't have to snap it. And they won't. So it's the 2-minute timeout slash warning slash timeout, whatever you want to call it. Oklahoma State down a touchdown. The Mike Gundy era has been the golden era for Oklahoma State football. And Buck, listen, he knows this year, major disappointment. They played for the Big 12 title last year. They returned 20 starters. Injuries have played a part in the fact that they're 3-4, but he says he still enjoys coaching this team.
Yeah, he's still invested in the guys that he gets to coach with and the players as well.
3rd and 3 out of the timeout. Bowman, the forward incomplete over his head. Bracket coverage. Corey Gordon Jr. was there for Baylor.
Yeah, they didn't fool anybody on that one. And now again, they're going to punt this ball to a Baylor team that's been able to march it down the field pretty quickly. Maybe that's why they took their time with it.
There is no punter out there for Oklahoma State. It's a fake. That's why. And Oklahoma State moves the sticks. Trent Howland, the Indiana transfer.
And what's crazy about it, you could tell that was something coming, but they didn't shift over. And look at that offense, that line that he was behind, able to just run behind it and pick up the 1st down. Yeah, everybody was just kind of, where are we here? I thought Baylor's special teams coach may have called a timeout to stop that, because you could see it was something different and a wrinkle that Oklahoma State put in. Good call.
Is a fake punt when West Paul isn't even lined up to kick it. In any event, it works. Bowman hooks up with Presley now. Down the opposite sideline from his touchdown earlier. And it's another first down, out of bounds. Clock stops as he hits the 35 with 16 yards.
One of the big offensive linemen are down, getting up slowly. But Presley, again, with some explosiveness, and the guy that we keep calling when they need a big play. He seems to be there. Sawyer Glass, slow to get up.
Yeah, Glass is the one who's been that swing tackle. He filled in for an injured Jake Springfield at right tackle earlier in the season. And this week, he's at left tackle, his natural position, because Dalton Cooper's out. Bowman floats it to Presley again, his 8th catch of the first half. He's over 100 yards. He's got another first down inside the 25.
I think Dave Aranda's saying, okay, we have to stop 80. 80 is going to be the guy that Alan Bowman's going to look for.
Now in the hurry up here. Bowman unloads, end zone incomplete. Tevin Williams III matching up with Talon Shetron.
And a ball not really that catchable. Tevin Williams was able to just not even let Shetron get anywhere near the football.
Gordon returns for Oklahoma State. And Gordon powers ahead into the red zone, down at the 18 with a gain of 5.
What you really want to do here, 9th play of the drive, is score, but use as much clock as you can so you don't give Baylor an opportunity to get anything.
Cowboys deliberate here. They've got all 3 timeouts in their back pocket. Try to ensure they're the last ones to touch the football here in the first half. They've got the ball to start the second. Bowman on 3rd down. And Presley again, knocked out of bounds inside the 5.
Ted, there goes that man again. Anytime Bowman has tried to find an open guy, it's been Presley. And they're in scoring position and an opportunity now to get another touchdown and get the ball coming out of the half.
Gordon stood up, second effort. And down inside the 1, Matt Jones hit him. Gordon thinks it's a touchdown, but marked down at the 1. And Oklahoma State, I think, is calling a timeout here.
This game momentum has shifted ever since Robertson was hit. It seems like Oklahoma State now is really starting to get comfortable.
Oklahoma State has called their first charge timeout. It's been 30 seconds in length. Game clock operator, please reset it to 15 seconds.
And hit their stride. Presley has been really a guy that's been key. And this is Ollie Gordon. I thought he got across. But you can't see where he went down. But man, he was a great effort.
Yeah, the ball clearly stretches across, Buck, but yeah, where is the knee? We can't see it, the pile.
Previous play of the runner down short of the goal line is under further review.
And that's a good timeout if it came from Oklahoma State, because now it gives them a chance to slow things down, but you can't see. I didn't see any angle that shows he was down or if he was on someone getting into the end zone.
And again, you have to have the indisputable video evidence to overturn the call on the field, which is down at the 1. But just from that overhead view from the end zone, it almost looked like Gordon was on top of Jones's leg as he was stretching across.
That's what it would appear.
Again, another look from this angle. Fought through the tackle of Jones. And where's the knee, the shin? Okay, put his hand to brace himself. Man, that's tough. I feel like he was still on top of Matt Jones, and if that's the case, that's a touchdown.
Yeah.
But is it clear and obvious to the officials here?
Well, the officials are going to see what we see. And the replay guys, they have all the angles that we have. That's what they're going to make the decision on. He does a good job of that sentence. Yeah, I mean, you would tend to think from that angle, that's a touchdown.
I think it is.
Yeah. But I look at it more so, too. If he didn't score there, he may score on the next one. But remember, he had a fumble earlier. And you talk about momentum shift. You score here, you come out of the half with another opportunity.
Mike Gundy is all of us, shielding his eyes even with sunglasses.
Yeah. I'm telling you, in that corner of the end zone, it's just the way the sun beams over it. He had an incident. He had an incident with his one of his animals on his farm as well.
Yeah. After review, the ruling on the field is a touchdown. The runner got the ball across the goal line. Game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 22 seconds, please. 22.
So Ollie Gordon back in the end zone. Had 3 touchdowns last week. And the touchdown here brings OSU to within a point.
They said it may not be pretty, but they're going to get it done. I like the fight in this Oklahoma State Cowboys team. I like what Baylor's doing. We got ourselves a ball game, people.
The walk-on Logan Ward for the PAT. And we're knotted up at 17. One more look as Gordon used the legs of Matt Jones to skate to the end zone here.
Get a chance, you're just going to do everything you can to get that touchdown. That atones for that fumble that he had earlier, but it gives them an opportunity to tie the ball game up. They have to pick the ball off to Baylor, but they're in a position, man, where they can run this clock down and then get the ball coming out of the second half.
Yeah, I mean, Gordon had the monster season a year ago, Buck, and so we see his numbers, including last season and this season. He has not been nearly as efficient. Mike Gundy, in fact, sat him down in his office a few weeks ago, and he says, I don't think you're running as hard as you did last year. So he showed him clips, same plays, last year compared to this year. He's like, Ollie, what we need as a team, what you need to be a top draft pick, you have to run harder and show more burst.
Yeah, and I like the way he said that. Hey, I showed him some clips, and I said, let's look at this so you can see exactly what I see, and then you tell me what you're doing. And I think that accountability, and since that point, he's run with a different purpose.
Yeah, Gundy said that Gordon told him, yes, sir, I get it. And sure enough, last week, a huge game against BYU. He hasn't been able to get loose nearly as much today, but his touchdown ties it up here at the end of the first half.
Well, and usually you can say your offensive line doesn't block well or this, and none of that was happening. He said he wasn't complaining. He just wasn't doing the things that we know Ollie Gordon can do.
Good thing for Baylor, Sawyer Robertson back on the field, and he beats Bryson Washington for a gain of 7. That could bring us to the end of the first half. Yeah, so Baylor lets the clock drip here. Two teams trying to get back to 500. Trying to pull the U-turn here in the middle of the season. Dave Aranda's team on their homecoming, tied up with Oklahoma State at 17 all. Well, coming up, as we mentioned, it is Baylor's homecoming. We will take an in-depth look at planning for the event known as Baylor's homecoming, the oldest such homecoming event in the country. Baylor and Oklahoma State, all square at 17. Homecoming here in Waco, king and queen crowned as Baylor and Oklahoma State squaring off, and they are tied at 17 as we welcome you back to the Big 12 on ESPN. So right back to where we started, tie game between the Cowboys and the Bears, both teams trying to make it back to 500. We're glad you're with us, along with former All-American Charles Arbuckle. I'm Ted Emmerich. Yeah, both teams fighting for bowl eligibility, as we said. They got to win 3 of their last 5. Competitive game. What has stood out to you so far?
Well, I can say this. Baylor's running the football effectively and making some plays, but this Oklahoma State team has been gritty. They just stay with it and stay after it. Now we have a tied ball game.
You mentioned that Baylor running game, and it has been multiple backs that have picked up explosive plays so far.
Yeah, Pendergrass here with this open field, and then getting by the last line of the defense and able to really make a nice play down the field. That drive was all him, and then they were still able to score. You can see here again, uses the umpire to his advantage, makes a nice fake on Dylan Smith. And then another strong run by Reese. Getting out in open field. They seem like every time they get to that second and third level, they're able to really do something effectively. Robertson with a nice run as well. They've run the football very well, but there's been one guy that's really held them together, and that's Brennan Presley. You know, we asked his coaching staff about guys that were making plays and staying with it and doing things. He was the first one that Mike Gundy mentioned, and you can see why. He was battling on everything, trying to get extra yards, just making plays. Anytime he had the ball in his hands, it meant something good generally for Oklahoma State. And that's why he has just risen up the charts. Those little bitty moves, he's crafty as a receiver, but so good in what he can do.
Yeah, Presley's got 9 catches for 135 yards and a touchdown. We check out the stats from a team perspective. Oklahoma State on the ground has not been able to do much. Ollie Gordon trying to build off that breakthrough game last week against BYU. It's been Bowman to Presley through the air, allowing Oklahoma State to move the football. Well, for Oklahoma State, they are hoping they can win 3 of their last 5 to extend this streak. 18 consecutive years that they have made it to a bowl game. That's the 6th, the longest active streak in the country. You know, Mike Gundy was asked about it this week. Is that important? And he's trying to downplay it, but don't tell me the players don't think that it is important to continue that.
Well, the players and also the coaches. I mean, they want to have that on that mantra too, and be in a position where they can continue to say, these are the things we've been able to do. People can say bowls are devalued. Well, they mean something to somebody, and you want to continue that, and a winning streak, having your season be a success generally by wins.
Gundy said more than anything, he just wants to see his team improve a little bit every week. They absolutely improved last week against BYU, so close to taking down the undefeated Cougars in Provo, but looking for that breakthrough today and to climb out of the Big 12 basement at 0-4.
Well, especially against a team that really looked like it was starting to hit its stride, and Baylor last week, the way they played against Texas Tech. That would be a huge win for the Oklahoma State Cowboys if they could get that done.
Pokes have the ball to start this 3rd quarter. And Presley on the return. And met at the 20. If you're Baylor, Buck, how do you adjust your coverage against Brennan Presley? He is clearly the danger man.
Yeah, you almost have to bracket him in some way, shape, or form, or maybe you just say, look, we're going to man you up, and that's not generally what Baylor's going to do. I'm sure Dave Aranda at halftime addressed that because he is the defensive coordinator, and all his staff looked at it and said, we've got to take away this guy. They're not running the football effectively, but Brennan Presley is really hurting us with what he's doing.
See Alan Bowman's numbers and his return to the starting lineup. And to the air, Bowman, deep shot for Shetron. He sailed it.
And they used Presley on that one as a decoy. He goes under and runs a dig, and Shetron is going over the top, but Bowman couldn't quite get him. Yeah, he had it. If the ball is there, he had a step, but just couldn't quite get the ball to him. He hadn't been able to connect with Shetron. That's about the 3rd throw that has been not to him effectively, even though he's been open.
And Shetron has been battling Tevin Williams all game. Oh, no. Bowman has to fall on top of it. Avoiding a turnover there, trying the pop pass to Brennan Presley, and Oklahoma State does recover.
They were very fortunate here. It almost looked like Presley wasn't expecting the ball when he got it. Unfortunately for Oklahoma State, look, he thinks he's going to get a handoff. Bowman's pitching it, and he's expecting a handoff. There was some disconnect there.
Game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 14:41 for the previous play as an incomplete pass.
And that's a good question.
Yeah.
You're right. If it's a handoff, obviously a fumble, there's a loss on the play. But because that is a forward pass, that pop pass.
It's like a shovel pass or a pop pass.
It's incomplete. 3rd and 10 now. Blitz up the middle from Matt Jones. Bowman cannot escape.
Matt Jones again. They're just showing up. And I mean, when you get that dog blitz on the inside, Bowman doesn't have a chance. And there's no one that picks him up. This is a huge defensive play series for this Baylor team. Matt Jones has just been all over the football field. Talk about coming back and improving your draft stock. The senior out of Odessa Permian. A little movie made by Friday Night Lights. Yeah.
No doubt. Mojo. And Josh Cameron with the fair catch. Excellent field position in plus territory after the 39-yard punt. Now we take a look at the drive chart for Baylor today. Here, remember one of those touchdown drives, 4 plays, 99 yards with the big runs by Dawson Pendergrass. They've chewed up 169 yards on the ground.
Well, and they've been in positions in other times where they could have scored but did not capitalize, and Oklahoma State being the same way. Let's see now that they've kind of flipped it, that 3 and out, now they get a chance to maybe do something with this possession.
Yeah, overall, an inconsistent day, but the big plays for Baylor have been the story. Pendergrass in the flat. Oh, Rucker just trying to toss him around. Pendergrass stayed on his feet. Smith finally rides him out.
He does a really nice job of breaking tackles. A nice catch. Trey Rucker just trying to throw him down, and he just keeps moving.
Gain of 8. Pendergrass on the ground. Plowing ahead. And a flag is down from just ahead of the play at the end.
At a flag conference there.
Had a few of those today.
Personal foul, hands to the face, number 1, offense, 15-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
It's on the tight end, Michael Trigg.
They said he doesn't know his own strength sometimes. It's a big penalty after you had a nice game by Pendergrass and then you lose all those yards. I think he's still learning the position. Really athletic player coming into his own.
Yeah, plenty of penalties, mostly on Oklahoma State today. Again, one of the least penalized teams in college football with a season-high 10 for 79 today. Baylor back on its side of the 50 with that penalty. Oklahoma State brings the blitz, and Robertson caved in. Cody Walterscheid along with Dylan Smith.
When they dial it up, man, it is hard to pick it up. There's too many of them for too few of you. Walterscheid comes in. He's the first one there. Sawyer Robertson said, I just got to get down. I got to get away from that guy.
So it's 3rd down from about Temple for Baylor now. They need 27. And they just run it with Pendergrass. And Oklahoma State gums that up with Obi Ezigbo. And Baylor has to punt.
That's what both teams. First drives. Defenses win.
And again, the penalty, the story there for Baylor just as they were starting to move.
And they haven't had many, but the ones they have had have been just untimely.
Leading punter in the country, Palmer Williams sends it away. It's not Presley on the return this time. It is Landon Cleveland, and he gets destroyed. A 50-yard punt, and Gordon there on coverage for Baylor.
Folks, he said, I love doing it every single week.
Gundy told us every team in America stole the RPO from us. They're going to steal this idea, too. Rodney Fields Jr. gets the call on first down and takes it across the 15, pick up a 5 yards. Yeah, Oklahoma State, Buck, only 17 carries, 13 yards. Sacks have played a part in that. Before that running play, they got to get something going on the ground.
Yeah, but you look at the scoreboard and it's 17-17. They're still in the game, even though they haven't been able to run the football effectively. But you know that's what they want to do. That's part and parcel of who they are.
And interesting that Fields is out here on this drive instead of Gordon. Fields again. And he picks up a couple to set up 3rd and 3.
And I think they're doing it the right way because it allows Ollie Gordon to get a little bit of a breather. And when he comes in, he's fresher. They love the young kid Fields, and he's giving them something that they need as well. So I think it's a good balance for him to make sure down the stretch, Ollie Gordon is healthy as well.
And right on cue, Buck, Gordon takes his place on 3rd down. Bowman, wide open man, Cale Cabanis. Bet you didn't expect that. Down to the 35 of Baylor, a 46-yard hookup. There is a flag down back inside the 20, however.
Ineligible player downfield, number 67.
Wow.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Cole Birmingham, the left guard, just gets down the field too far, but this was outstanding by Bowman. Him to just hold the ball and not get hit there. And Cabanis is able to just sneak down the field. Kyler Jordan was coming on the edge, and it was just so hard for Bowman, but he fakes it, gets the ball down the field, but it doesn't go for you because of Cole Birmingham being too far down the field.
Once again, a penalty is a backbreaker for Oklahoma State. It's 3rd and 8. Gordon surging to the 20. He needed the 21. And it's 4th down here.
And we have to say it again. Dalton Cooper, one of the highest graded O-linemen on this offensive line for Oklahoma State, is out of the game. That is one also probably one of reason why they haven't run the ball as effectively as well.
And you saw Garmin Randolph, the edge player for Baylor, who's slow to get up. And hands on hips for Ollie Gordon in the offense. Again, penalty wiping out a huge play to Cabanis.
He is 6'8", 260. Now, I remember playing against James Francis, who played here at Baylor in high school at Lamarck and in the pros. They call him Big Cat because his arms were so long and he was so athletic. And it was always a fight when he had to play James Francis. I'm sure Garmin Randolph is similar to that.
The Aussie Hudson Cock out to punt. And Cameron with the fair catch at the 43. You say Big Cat, I think of Ernie Ladd.
Yeah, they had some guys that young Santana Dotson also from the Houston area. Yates tried to recruit him out of UCLA. He came to Baylor. Jeffrey Murray was one of those great running backs. They had some guys that came up here from the Houston area that could play. Same way with Oklahoma State. Thurman Thomas was a senior when I was a sophomore. Thurman, who's now Pro Football Hall of Famer. Hartley Dykes from Bay City at Oklahoma State. There was always some of this talent from that Houston area that would get to Baylor or Oklahoma State.
Any excuse to bring up Houston, you are going to take it.
H-Town.
Represent. From the 43, Robertson flushed out by Corey Black, and Robertson flashing the wheels again. First down to the OSU 45.
Robinson, he did a heck of a job getting outside. He doesn't panic, boom, he's gone. And then he's able to get out there and pick up a nice So that Baylor needed that. They needed that at that particular time.
Now Bryson Washington slashing through the defense. And it's another Baylor first down inside the 35. Cale Smith tripped him up.
Yeah, this run game is starting to get its groove back a little bit. Robertson first, now Washington. Offensive line loves this because it's cooling off and they can just lean on the defensive line.
Robertson floats it. Crazy hands. Ashton Hawkins pulls it in for the touchdown.
Wow. They talked about him playing like he was 6'2", 6'3". Man, he went up and got that football. That was outstanding by Hawkins. You know, Jake Spavital just couldn't gush enough about how good he is as a player and what he brings to this Baylor team. Got two Mosses on it. Presley earlier on this side, and now Hawkins on this side.
The go-ahead score from the player nicknamed literally Crazy Hands.
He goes up and grabs it, doesn't mind scoring and showing you a little celebration. Ashton Hawkins is probably one of those guys in practice. If he puts it on the ground, people are just surprised. His ability to make plays, and this play in particular, just go up and grab it. I mean, that was outstanding, and they say he does this all the time in practice. Look at that, last second. He has Corey Black still running, and he's able to just go up and snag the ball out of the air. And that's the momentum that this Baylor Bears team needed. It felt like it was a lot further ahead, but Oklahoma State has stayed in it. But that young man right there went up with a nice catch.
Buck, you mentioned the first half. The coaches aren't lying. At 5'10", somehow he has 11-inch hands. For context, DeAndre Hopkins is measured at just over 10 inches.
Yes. But he goes up, and they say he can just catch everything. Crazy Hands is legit on that one.
Presley on the return for the Pokes.
Ooh.
And got knocked down at the 15. Oh, yeah. Dig the grave, Corey Gordon Jr.
Man. One thing, if you don't have somebody that is able to pick that person up, and this is what I talked about, he's coming on a full sprint. Presley didn't see him.
And Gordon's been active in the secondary and certainly active on special teams as well. Now the numbers for Bowman. Been sacked 3 times. That's where the negative yardage has come from. Give it to Bailahi. Gonna spurt through the hole. He's across the 20. Taken down by Linton, a gain of 6.
We call Linton's name quite a bit. Defensive front really doing a nice job against the run, whether it's Ollie Gordon, Fields, Bailahi. Really contain that running game for Oklahoma State.
You really have to wonder just what exactly is Ollie Gordon playing through. You can tell on tape he's banged up. But again, not out here on this drive. Tunnel screen to Dejon Stribling, who is Oklahoma State's leading receiver coming in. Goes for 6 yards. Stribling didn't have a catch last week, and that's his first catch today.
Yeah, he is a guy that they like to get the ball into his hands as well.
Been all about Brennan Presley today. So first down here. See, Oklahoma State just has not been able to mount any kind of rushing attack to this point. Bailahi. There's another good run by Bailahi on this drive as he picks up 5.
It looks like maybe they're starting to figure out this left side of the line with the side glass behind Cole Birmingham. Again, Dalton Cooper is out. He's a key contributor for that that offensive line. 55 starts on his career. He's not playing today.
Again, veterans across the board. But like you mentioned, Buck, Dalton Cooper on that left side, their highest graded lineman. That is a huge loss after his injury at BYU. Here's Gordon with a nice run, a first down across the 40. He picks up 9.
And again, all of these runs so far have gone to the left side of the line of scrimmage. And pretty much on this drive, all into the boundary. Remember how when we talked to Coach Aranda, he was saying we become more of a field-based defense. They're attacking them now into the boundary. And to change that up a little bit, that's 4 straight plays, I think, right into that left side of the line of scrimmage. And now they're going heavy. You see those 2 tight ends and a receiver over there.
Let's see if they run it that way again. Run the screen that way. It's Rashad Owens getting loose. Owens cutting it back. And Owens tumbles down close to the 10. Keaton Thomas saving the touchdown.
I love the chess match between Dave Aranda and Casey Dunn. Get it outside and put it in the hands of Owens. But we haven't called his name much today, but when we have, that's a huge play. Stayed to the boundary and been able to attack them there. They found something on tape that now allows them to just keep attacking to that side.
Yeah, Owens' numbers are down from last year. He was the bowl game MVP down in Houston. Coaches love his blocking ability, but certainly capable as a receiver. Gordon sticks his nose in, down inside the 10, picks up a couple. Jackie Marshall brought him down.
They've done it in a bunch of different ways, Ted, but they've stayed attacking their left side of the line, the right side of, and basically the boundary where it was interesting to hear Coach Aranda talk about that too, how he had to change how he called defenses and did things.
And he's done that mainly because of teams going up-tempo against them. But that has not been the case on this drive. Swing it right side to Brandon Presley. Staying in bounds again. And he's down to the 2, maybe the 1, as Matt Jones pushes him across.
Brandon Presley is just so good, man. When he gets the ball in his hands, there's something that's going to happen. He's going to make it, and he's just crafty. See how he stays in bounds and just kind of hugs the sideline, and then at the last minute is going to attack the defender. Good blocking too, though. You got to give credit. That's how big plays happen, because those receivers down the field blocking for him.
10 grabs for 142 yards and a touchdown for Presley. Comes out here on 3rd and a yard. Gordon the back. Schultz and Ford shift. Play clock has run out, and a flag is down. Did Oklahoma State call timeout in time?
They were trying to get it before that clock ran out. But I don't know if they got it in time.
Delay a game. Offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
One of the assistant coaches,
one
of the assistant coaches was running to the official, but I don't think he got there in time. And that, like you said, the 11th penalty of today's game, and it keeps happening in this area.
Yes.
And I don't think they're in the right personnel now. Yeah, one of the assistant coaches is on the field, frustrated because they had too many men on the field. He could see the numbers, you know the count, you know the personnel and formation and groupings, and that wasn't the right one.
3rd and 1 turns into 3rd and 6. Gordon motions in alongside Bowman. Bowman fires. It's caught by Gordon. He is taken down by Keaton Thomas. Loss of 3 on the play.
Well, when you have a situation like this and you give yards away, the defense comes after him. There's nowhere to go. Ollie Gordon, but then, you know, he's going to get up and tell you. Keaton Thomas is going to talk all game long, and Ollie Gordon knows it.
Buck, you saw the pressure from Jackie Marshall there, affecting Bowman's decision. Logan Ward Hit from 30 in the first half. Beg your pardon, from 45. This is from 26. And he knocks it through. So, a 4-point game. Late third quarter. Baylor still on top.
With all the technology, Coach Aranda still, look, using that board, whiteboard, putting things down, helping guys understand. That defense did a nice job at the very end there of not allowing Oklahoma State to get in the end zone.
Yeah, forget the iPad.
Yeah.
Give me the whiteboard. Let me draw something up.
That's old school, but you still love it because it's getting guys to understand and lock in. They can still go look at the video, but that's what you have to do as a coach when you're really helping guys understand and visually see it.
Jamal Bell underneath it for Baylor. Bell trying to find a seam. 2 flags are down. Make it 3.
Everybody threw a flag. Hey, anybody else have a flag they can throw?
I've got a towel. Okay. I can throw it from the booth. It's not yellow, but
you know, usually it's one, but it was just a bunch of them coming. And they're all dropping them right by each other. It's a flag party, not a homecoming. It's a flag party.
Holding number 42, receiving team, 10-yard penalty, first down.
It's because they all saw it, threw it the same direction.
But how you lock down in the red zone. This was Presley with a nice catch and getting down. But look at all these Baylor Bears getting to the ball. They're rallying, making sure he doesn't get in. Matt Jones in particular. And then this one, you got pressure coming with Jackie Marshall and Ollie Gordon getting a little bit of something with Keaton Thompson. Okay.
Richard Reese in it running back. And Reese tracked down from behind by Walter Scheid, the stalwart up front for OSU. Gain of a yard.
This defense has played much better in the second half. They've given up a lot of run yards, and that was what they had not looked well over the last few weeks, even against BYU, even though they were in that game. This has been a much better showing for them in this half.
Reese again trying to spin, and Oklahoma State closes down on him again. This is the 5th worst run defense in America coming in. It's been atrocious in Big 12 play. It was bad in the first half, but they're at least there a little bit more here in the second.
What I like is they're getting off blocks, and they're not allowing a downhill run to put them out of position, meaning that the runners getting to the second and third level and there was no one there, or one person there, and they were getting beat.
And just like that, 3rd and 8. Blitz. Robertson to the boundary, and Trigg couldn't come up with it. Pass a little high for the 6'4" tight end, and it's 4th down.
Trigg was trying to catch that one. There was pressure coming, and Robertson couldn't quite get it to him. And again, that was a good defensive series for this Oklahoma State ball club.
I think Trigg was looking at the replay there. You saw the hot little frustration because he knew he had the man coverage.
Yeah, your eyes light up when you know it's one-on-one coverage, especially if it's a route where you can run away from the coverage.
Kyler Pearson is back deep here. New number for him. Wearing 14 in the place of Presley here. And once again, Pearson is thrown down. Back at the 26-yard line. And it's Micah Gifford making the play. Well, we see the playmakers offensively for Oklahoma State. Gordon has been boxed in after his big game last week. Presley has been enormous. Yeah. He has been the passing game for Oklahoma State.
He really has. He has just been the guy that every time they need a big play, he seems to be the one to be there for it.
112 of those 142 yards have come after the catch. You can see why OSU is replacing him in the return game right now. They need him on the field offensively every snap. Gordon can't get to the edge. Steve Linton is there again for Baylor. It's a loss of 2.
Linton with a nice job of coming downhill. You cannot allow Ollie Gordon to get moving. And that's what been the thing. Whenever they're able to tackle him in the backfield or stop him before he really gets going, that's what you want to do if you're a Baylor Bear.
4 years at Syracuse to start his career, last year at Texas Tech, and now his 6th year at Baylor. He's having his best year yet. Gordon again, made a man miss. And Ollie Gordon trudging ahead for the first down to the 38. He gains 13.
He's so good when he's boxed in, and then when he finds a hole, he's just able to get down there. That blocking up front again, Cole Birmingham, 67 with a nice block there to spring him.
Buck, that was his longest run of the day, 13 yards.
But it looked hard. All of them have been like that.
Yes. Final seconds of the third quarter. Bowman, incomplete. Wanted Presley, and a flag is down. Devin Bobby, who is trying to keep up with Brennan Presley.
Yeah, he had all jersey. Presley was trying to pull away from him.
Pass interference, number 3. Defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Presley did a stop and go.
What do you think?
Yeah, I look back at that. Almost didn't. It looked worse real time than it did on the replay. Yeah, just looked like it was incidental contact. I thought he really grabbed him when I initially saw it. That one didn't look as bad.
So it's Oklahoma State benefiting from a Baylor penalty this time. Final play of the third quarter, perhaps. The handoff to Presley. Trying to find the edge. Can't turn the corner. Corey Gordon Jr. building that fence to the sideline to bring us to the end of the third.
That is the end of the third quarter. Timeout on the field.
Baylor and Oklahoma State. Bears up 4 on their homecoming as both teams trying to make it back to 5. Homecoming here in Waco for Baylor. A 4-point lead over Oklahoma State as we start the fourth quarter. Ted Emmerich, Charles Arbuckle, our entire crew. It's been a wild ride this year for Alec Bowman. You go back to last year, part of that team that played for a Big 12 title, benched twice this year, replaced, back in as QB1 because of the injury to Garrett Rangel. They need him to rise up now.
Yeah, they're looking for that, and they've been, wanting to see that from Alan Bowman. Had a pretty good game last week against BYU when he did come in.
2nd and 10 to open the fourth. Bowman retreating. Mike Gundy has cautioned him against this, and he throws it away because Jackie Marshall was hunting him.
When he gets into that situation, throw the ball away. You're out of the pocket. You get it past the line of scrimmage, you're fine. But sometimes he'll just keep drifting and drifting and drifting, and that's the one thing they don't want him doing.
Gundy has told him, climb the pocket.
Yeah, he showed him on tape.
Face of pressure.
You could see it when we were on the phone with him, and you could see it even when he was explaining it.
Oklahoma State has not converted a third down this half. They're 0 for 4, 3 of 10 overall. Pokes need 10. Blitz. Bowman floats it to Gordon, who has space. And the first down inside the 35. Beautifully done. It goes for 15.
Sometimes when the screen takes a long time and you forget about the running back, this is awesome that you can get this out there with the tight end in front, Tyler Foster, to block for a guy like Ollie Gordon. Very good play set up by that offensive staff.
And Gordon has been spelled quite a bit in this second half in favor of Fields and Bailahi. He's on the field right now for good reason.
Yeah, the fourth quarter is probably going to be his if he can take most of it.
And Gordon is wrapped up. Devontae Tesno brings him down after a gain of a yard.
And he went down hard. So as soon as he got tackled, he was going to come off the field. He has been dealing with something and hadn't complained about it, but just having to fight through it. And that was one of those situations where he gets taken down real quick and has to come out for a spell.
So Bailahi checks back in on 2nd and 9. Bowman stands in and delivers to Vailahi. Flag is down. Thrown in the backfield as Vailahi made it to the line to gain. But let's sort out the penalty. Bowman's face probably told the story.
Seems like every time they get moving, something happens with the penalty flag like this.
Holding number 66. Offense, 10-yard penalty, second down.
That's the center, Joe Michalski.
Yeah, when you have linebacker on the A-gap blitz or dog blitz, watch Matt Jones coming in, and Michalski is going to be late to grab him. And actually, it wasn't Michalski.
Correction, that foul is on number 51.
Yeah, Austin Kowecki.
Yeah, but it was in that area, right between the center guard.
So the 12-yard pass to Vailahi gets wiped out. Second and 19. Bowman cocked his arm, and he is sacked. Trevin Ma'ai, the former Oregon Duck, brings him down.
But what he did do is move up in the pocket. He didn't drift. There was pressure coming. Keaton Thomas is coming late to the party, and then you can see there's nowhere to throw the ball. So instead of drifting out, he goes up and tries to get some yards. Even though it was a sack, he did everything he could to manage that sack as best he could.
Just a three-man rush this time. And Bowman's pass is almost intercepted by Gordon. Man, Presley was cutting the other way, and it's fourth down.
Luckily for him, it was underthrown, because this would have been a pick. Corey Gordon Jr. was right there. Ball is short. He was fortunate, Alan Bowman, that was not an interception.
Cock on to punt. Cameron awaits to let it fly by. And Oklahoma State saving it from going into the end zone. Well done. Inside the 5, it was Cale Cabanis down there. A 44-yard punt, and Baylor's backed up. Cabanis had that catch that was wiped out due to a penalty earlier. He saves this punt, and Baylor's backed up.
Nice catches, and Sawyer Robertson, the cousin of Jared Stidham, by the way. But he has really played well in spurts. Let's see what he can do on this drive.
3 touchdown passes today for Robertson. It's to Bryson Washington showing a tackle in the backfield. And Washington rockets his way across the 20. Jaleel Johnson makes the tackle after a gain of 16.
Missed tackles have hurt this Oklahoma State team all year. And right there, Dylan Smith in position to make a tackle. Then Trey Rucker, 2 of their guys they rely on, not able to come away with that.
And Washington again, lowering the shoulder and dragging Dylan Smith. So the missed tackle of the play before, and Smith goes for a ride. It ends up as a 9-yard run.
Yeah, then he's trying to get help from Lingell.
I wonder what Bryson Washington can squat.
I'm safe to say 500 or more.
Johnson makes the tackle this time. Gain of a yard, good enough for the first down for Baylor.
Well, I think Jake Spavital said it best. We're going to rely on our run game. And, you know, you think air raid, people think we're throwing the ball all over the place. But this is a grounded air raid. They want to run the football and beat you in a numbers game in the run game as well as the pass.
Up to that point, Baylor surpassed 200 yards rushing today. The collective effort. Robertson to the air this time. And he connects with Hawkins. Did he step out? Oh, I believe he did. And right at the 50. State of 19.
Hawkins was trying to move like a boxer and say, I got you shook. He was out of bounds already. That was crazy.
No, you're out. Get out.
But this drive started on 2 good runs, and now they're loosening up and throwing the pass.
Robertson fires deep. And incomplete. He wanted Hal Presley.
Yeah, now that looked more like a hold or a pass interference on Kenneth Harris. Again, this area of the field is shot area. First down or second down, generally you want to go down the field. Yeah, Harris let go at the end, but I thought he held him for a little bit. Got away with one there.
Showed the entire Baylor line there. I don't think they're unbiased. Of course they were booing there.
You know who's been quiet is Josh Cameron.
No doubt.
His name a whole lot today.
After the 3-touchdown performance last week. It's been spread around today. Screen for Hawkins. A first down. And the stiff arm for Harris. Out of bounds inside the 35. 17 more yards. The chunk plays keep piling up from this Baylor offense.
And Hawkins is so good in open space with the football that you just give it to him on the screen and he will make a way with it. Look at the blocking out here by offensive linemen and receivers on the outside. That usually springs big plays.
Now Dawson Pendergrass to the outside. Flag down from behind the play. Good run. It's going to come back. Pendergrass to the end zone for the touchdown. But a flag back at the 35. But Dawson Pendergrass can still flex. Get that in.
Holding number 53. Offense, 10-yard penalty for the previous spot.
Campbell Barrington, the offensive tackle on the right side. Line of scrimmage is there, has him, but he doesn't let go. You can see right there, he's got his hands wrapped up. And that allowed Dawson Pendergrass to get to the outside. Usually that comes from a bad first step, and it just compounds itself. He couldn't quite catch up. And that was good hustle by the defensive line on the fourth step.
Please reset the game clock to 9:42.
Oh, we touched on Oklahoma State's penalties. Baylor 7 for 78 today. So 1st and 20. Washington lowering the shoulder right into the pile to the 41.
Well, and how many times today have we seen those penalties just slow a drive down or completely stop a drive? Let's see if Baylor can overcome that. It's usually difficult to overcome penalties, whether they're 5 yards or 10 yards, especially the time, that momentum they had going, all of a sudden just slows.
And getting that ground game clicking for the first time here in the second half, because Oklahoma State did well to slow it down in the third quarter. Robertson taking off. Sawyer Robertson splitting the defense for the touchdown. A 41-yard sprint.
Great job by Sawyer Robertson of seeing that and understanding most things will be on the outside. They struggled all game long on the middle of the interior defense, and he's able to take that. He sees it with man and finds that opening. And look at the block down the field. Great blocking also, then effectively Jalen Porter with the huge block to spring that touchdown.
Then he looks to the sky. Yes, the seas parted, Sawyer.
Earth, Wind & Fire is a great song. Keep your head to the sky. That's what Robertson was trying to do now. It opens up for you, and you know you're going to the house. Don't look back, son, because they're gaining on you. Touchdown for Sawyer Robertson.
Baylor has its biggest lead thanks to Sawyer Robertson's 41-yard scramble for the touchdown. He's accounted for 4 scores today. He's always been told, Buck, he's not the guy coming out of camp. 5 times in his career, whether at Mississippi State or here at Baylor. As Dave Aranda told us yesterday, He just needed someone to believe in him. He noticed his demeanor. Early in the season, his head would be down, walking in the hallway. Aranda goes up to him and says, hey, keep your chin up. We're going to need you at some point. Sure enough, DeQuan Finn gets hurt. Robertson takes over the job, and Robertson hasn't looked back. 9
touchdowns in the last 2 weeks that he's accounted for. At 5 last week, 4 so far today. And like you said, he had it in him. He just had to believe in himself and have somebody to pull that out of him.
Jack Stone booms it into the end zone for the touchback. The run game has been the story for Baylor.
Well, 255 yards last week on the ground. It doesn't hurt when you have Pendergrass breaking people off in the middle of the field and running the football effectively down the field. And then Sawyer Robertson showing his moves and getting out in open space. And then this touchdown was so good. Look how he was patient. He got back there. He saw everything open up in the middle of the field. Good block there. And then that makes it so effective when you have guys blocking downfield and you know that middle of the field just opens up. Your eyes get big.
Bowman completes it on first down. Presley again, who's had a huge game. It's a first down, a gain of 14.
They've just struggled to maintain anything once they start having penalties Oklahoma State.
Bowman's over 300 yards passing now. He sends it to Presley again, and he's knocked out after a gain of 2 by Bobby and Jenkins.
And they're going to go tempo, or they had started to look like they were going to get in tempo mode because the time is against them, and they really struggled to score. They moved the ball up and down the field, but just haven't scored it.
Whether the turnover, Gordon fumbling close to the goal line, penalties have been huge as well today. Bowman rifles, that's caught by Presley. Out to midfield and another first down. My goodness, Brennan Presley with a gain of 10.
And he's like, okay, I know I'm going to get hit. Just throw me the ball, Allen, and I got you.
Now Ollie Gordon. And Gordon dragging 2 Bears out inside the 45. He picks up 9.
It's a tough, hard 9. He had that long of 15 the other drive, and that was a nice run by Ollie Gordon.
Bowman sails it. And incomplete. He wanted Shetron again. That pass just has not been there today, as Caden Jenkins had the assignment this time for Baylor.
You knew at some point they were going to go up top again. Jenkins running with them. Might have tugged him a little bit, but still, Shetron couldn't quite get to the ball.
Snap to Gordon, and Gordon is denied. Matt Jones knifing in. It's a loss of 2.
You talk about when you put good football IQ together and a nastiness to play, that's Matt Jones. Wow. Had 9 tackles last week, but all of watch 2 right here. Knife in there and make the tackle. Wow. And Ollie Gordon is not a little guy. I'm talking about a dude at 6'2", 225, 230 that brings it.
And yet Jones goes 6'4", 246. 4th down, Oklahoma State has to go for it. Play clock running down. Against a 3-man rush, Bowman completes it. What a snag. Wow. Presley reaching out for the first down.
He's got 2 guys on him. You don't think he's going to catch it on a 4th down. And look at him go up and grab it. We talk about Matt Jones on one side. Presley saying, man, look, I don't care what the score is, guys. I'm balling. Follow me.
Brent Presley's hands are magnets today. 14 catches. The draw to the true freshman, Fields. And hit by Devin Bobby and Corey Gordon after a gain of 8.
Ted, what did both of these coaches say about how hard it is to win? They said it in different ways. One was more quiet, Dave Aranda, but then also, you know, a guy like Mike Gundy, who's been around for a long time, it's just difficult to win, and you see two teams trying to get that dub.
Moment to the sideline. That's caught by Owens. And out of bounds at the edge of the red zone.
Ruling on the field is completed pass for a first down.
And they're fighting the clock and the score. They've got to find a way to score here and play clean. No penalties if you're Oklahoma State.
14 for 177 as Presley closes in on what could be a career day for him. A stellar 5-year career at Oklahoma State. Bowman. And Strubling couldn't come up with it, but a flag. Caden Jenkins with the coverage.
That was right in front of the official. I could call that for you here. The crowd's going to be upset.
Pass interference, number 8. Defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Caden is playing the receiver, and then he goes through the receiver. It could have been offense, but what the thing is, the offensive player is trying to attack it, and then he grabs him at that last second. It could have gone either way, but I think they made the right call there. Baylor Bears fans don't want to hear that, but
of course. But Oklahoma State has it now at the 7. First and goal. Presley in motion. Fake the pop pass. Swing it to Gordon. And Ollie Gordon powers inside the 5.
Still using clock. You got to score here. And it has to be a touchdown almost.
No doubt at this point.
Yeah.
Gordon, second effort, he surges in for the touchdown, and Oklahoma State still has a pulse.
I tell you, these two teams are fighting, man. And Ollie Gordon was instrumental on that drive. Looks like they're lining up to go for 2.
To make it a 3-point game.
Ultimately, if they had been forced to go for a field goal, that would have been what they could have done if they scored again, but they're going to do it now.
Direct snap, Gordon, is he going to throw it? To Presley! Did he come up with that? Wow. He did! Presley tipped it up in the air to himself for 2.
I didn't think Ollie Gordon was going to get it to him. But did Presley come up under and tip it up to himself? Wow. First, the touchdown. Ollie Gordon with that physicality, running downhill. You can see the blocking, those white jerseys, pushing the green. And then look at the 2-point conversion here. Knocks the ball up, tips it to himself for 2. Wow. Talk to the coaching staff about Brennan Presley. He was banged up, nicked up, but the senior out of Tulsa, Oklahoma is doing it all today. He is running the football. He's catching the football, making plays all over the field. This one is just spectacular. Keeping his balance, staying in bounds, and scoring. But his ability to catch an open space, find, shake guys down, and then get by him on this 4th down catch, outstanding hands, but this one here is icing on the cake. Ollie Gordon almost throws it in the ground, and he knocks it up to himself and catches it. Spectacular day for Brennan Presley.
Short kick, Michael Allen with the fair catch for Baylor. What did Mike Gundy tell us this week? The message to Alan Bowman was just distribute to the open man. Yeah. Brennan Presley is always open.
Be the point guard, get it to him. See guy, get him the ball. And that's what he's done today when he's got the opportunity. Now Baylor is in a position to finish this game. They've got to get a couple of first downs, force Oklahoma State to use those timeouts. But if they don't, this Oklahoma State team showed us something on that last drive.
It's very simple. Can Oklahoma State hold down the running game now in the critical moment? Baylor has 258 yards on the ground. Robertson keeping it. And Robertson goes down with a gain of 4.
Well, that makes sense there, because if you start going, you know they're still going to come. Oklahoma State's MO has been to force and fire with different people coming off the edge in the middle. They haven't been afraid to do that all game.
Pendergrass the back. All the backs have ripped off big runs today for Baylor. Pendergrass has a few. And Austin Gain inside the 30. Ezigbo makes the tackle. It's a gain of 3, third down coming up.
They had Jeff Robertson. They also had Kemp. They knew where that ball was coming, and they still got positive yards.
Now, Buck, Baylor 2 of 8 on third down today. They are 0 for their last 5.
Yeah.
Bears need 3. The pass to Cameron, who's been quiet until this point. First down, Baylor to the 45.
He said, Arbuckle, I need you to be quiet up there. I heard you calling my name, and I'm going to make a play for us right here. That was a nice play by Josh Cameron.
His first catch today, again, coming off 3 touchdowns last week in Lubbock. Former walk-on turning into a star for Baylor. Back to Dawson Pendergrass.
He just...
Pendergrass standing on his feet. Pendergrass has nothing but the end zone in front of him. It's a touchdown. Dawson Pendergrass might have just called game.
Pendergrass has said all the dirty work for him, and he said, look, I'm going to do it again for you. Let's go. Let's go. Wow. The missed tackle showed up, the inability to get the guy on the ground, but Dawson Pendergrass, go get your flowers.
Go get him a whole bouquet.
Oh. When you get a chance to run the ball against a defense that struggles some trig with the block, but then it's Dawson Pendergrass who just runs, and he's got Fugard. Let me help you. I told you, when you watch film, sometimes you say he's not that fast, but nobody catches him. Look at that. He's just running away from the Oklahoma State defense.
The product of Mineola High School in East Texas. He has runs of 48, 39, and 55 yards today.
This is when you know your team is starting to kind of feel what they need to. And Dave Aranda was saying that, how to get their footing, they had a heck of a game in Lubbock last week against Texas Tech. They come back with a hard-fought game against this Oklahoma State ball club, and it's not over. But to find a way to just keep grinding and just be gritty is what I like about both of these teams today, but Baylor right there showed you something.
And Buck, unfortunately for Oklahoma State, it is the same old story with missed tackles doing in that defense. Pearson on the return. Tyler Pearson out to the 30-yard line, and a flag down at the very end of the play.
Sometimes guys are in position, but they just don't do anything with that position.
During the return, holding number 33, receiving team. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Dawson Pendergrass has just ripped through this OSU defense all day.
Yeah, he's found a way from deep in his territory, right there. Started Trey Rucker, not in position, coming down. He's the last line of defense, and then Dylan Smith. Just that nice little wiggle gives him the chance to good catch here and running hard, finding ways. And this run here exemplifies what Dawson Pendergrass has been able to do. That's against defensive linemen. He just kept his feet moving, didn't stop, and just takes it to the house.
After further discussion, there is no foul for holding. It'll be down at the 31-yard line.
Okay, so no penalty, in fact, on that return for OSU. Yeah, Buck, last week for Baylor, it was the breakout game for Bryson Washington. This week, it's Pendergrass, 142 yards on only 6 carries.
You can't draw it up any better.
Last pass for Oklahoma State, final 3 minutes. Bowman elusive at least, and he completes it. Caught by Rashad Owens, coming back to the football, got the first down at the 42.
Well, and they were trying to use clock, so that was the other thing. Pendergrass would have been happy with just a first down, but he turns that into a touchdown.
And approaching the 2-minute timeout here. Oklahoma State has all 3 timeouts as well. But they have to go. Presley, another catch. Number 15. That is one shy of his career high. By the way, he holds the school record with 16 catches in a single game.
Well, they've had so many great receivers come out of that Oklahoma State stable. But man, he has just shown up big today.
This rate is going to break Rashawn Woods' record next week. Final play before the 2-minute timeout. Bowman, the rocket, and he underthrew it. Intended for Shetron. They just have not connected all day on that deep pass. Caden Jenkins was back there defensively.
All day it's just been not quite there. It's 3rd and 4 with one more play before the 2-minute timeout.
And Oklahoma State has not been good on 3rd down today. Running with Balahi, and he's wrapped up by Jones. Right at the 50, brings us to the 2-minute timeout. 4th and 2 for Oklahoma State on the other side. Two teams trying to salvage their season in the second half. Oklahoma State down 10.
2-minute timeout on the field.
2-minute timeout, last chance for Oklahoma State. 4th and 2 for the Cowboys at midfield. Listen, they could run it here, but Buck, you would have to think Brennan Presley's going to be the target here.
Yeah, I mean, whether you know Des Bryant, Justin Blackman, Tyreek Hill, James Washington, or Marcel Atman, we know who Brennan Presley is today, and he is showing up and doing everything for this Oklahoma State team like those guys did while they were here.
Presley lines up in the backfield and ships out. 4th and 2. Blitz. Bowman to the other side. First down for Stribling. Close to the 40. A gain of 9, and Oklahoma State is still breathing. Bowman, incomplete. Oh, behind Gordon, and Gordon goes right down. My goodness. Matt Jones defending on the play, and oh no.
I hate to see that. And he has just played nicked up, hurt, banged up. Man.
One of the stars of our game down.
The way they're working on him, it looks like maybe a calf. I mean, a cramp. Yep. Let's just hope he's okay. When you go hard like that all game, too, sometimes when it happens, that feeling is nothing. So good to see him walking off.
Again, temperatures in the mid-80s today. Yes, it's late October. It's still summer here in Central Texas. You hope it's just a cramping situation for Gordon and nothing more. Man, he has battled all year, despite injuries, both to him and injuries up front. Bowman slings in, and Owens, did he get a foot down? He did not. Incomplete. Jenkins on the coverage, 3rd down.
Yeah, and Owens was drifting, so he couldn't stay in bounds. Would have been a nice catch, but just couldn't keep himself in the field of play.
And Jenkins fell down
tried,
there, too.
Yeah.
Almost got tangled up with Owens. 3rd and 10. Bowman off his back foot and bounces incomplete. Stribling and Owens were down there.
Very dangerous throw for Bowman, but fortunately it goes for naught. But still, one more opportunity, 4th and 10. The last time they were in that 4th down situation, 80 was the guy they targeted.
And the Cowboys are 3-3 on 4th down today, but they need 10 this time. Just trying to stay alive here. Bowman rockets it, and it's intercepted. LeVar Thornton Jr. closing the door to the Baylor defense.
Talk about a hard-fought win. Baylor Bears team. Alan Bowman just throwing it up, hoping he can get somebody to make a play. But it wasn't the person that he wanted it to. Thornton Jr. with a nice interception.
The redshirt freshman from Fort Worth has his first career interception. He'll never forget this one, no matter how many he has in his Baylor career.
There's been some great defensive backs out of this Baylor program, and I'm sure he's excited to join that crew.
Oklahoma State does have all 3 timeouts here, but 1:22 left. And it's Richard Reese picking up a couple. And see if the Cowboys use one of those timeouts. I believe they will here with 1:14 to go.
Oklahoma State, their first, 30 seconds in length. Game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 1:17.
Got a ball club that has struggled, Ted, and when talking to them, you knew they were going to come in here and fight, and they did just that.
I mean, full stop, Buck. Oklahoma State has been one of the biggest disappointments in college football. Everything that they brought back from that team that played for a conference championship last year, and they're staring at 0-5 in Big 12 play. Reese again. And Reese, goes out of bounds. Not that it matters all that much at this point. First down across the 35. I mean, OSU thought that last week in Provo was the start of the turnaround, even in a losing effort. But that road to bowl eligibility and continuing that streak just got a lot harder now.
It did, and some of the things that were happening during that 4-game streak showed up today. The missed tackles, the penalties, some of the things, the self-inflicted things that make it so much harder for you to win football games.
Reese again, and another big run for Baylor. They have chewed up more than 300 yards on the ground as a team, 13 yards here. Turn it around then, Buck, for Baylor. It'll be back-to-back wins after the 0-3 start. They'll be back to 500, and the schedule is starting to open up for them after such a difficult start. Remember the Hail Mary against Colorado, falling behind against BYU before the frantic comeback as well.
Well, I'll say this, TCU is giving Texas Tech all a run for their money. When I looked at the score, they were up 35-34, so don't sleep on that game. But you're right, they are in a better position now, and they're starting to play better football.
The breakthrough win for Baylor came last week on the road in Lubbock. Today it's a happy homecoming for Dave Aranda and the Bears. They have stacked 2 wins together, and Baylor is back to 500 as they beat Oklahoma State 38-28.
Hot and humid day, man, but it was a It was a fun one. Yeah, I mean, we had everything, and Brennan Presley in a loss has to be talked about, but this Baylor Bear team, 300-plus yards on the ground, was impressive.
Gallant effort from Presley, who had 15 catches for 183 yards and a touchdown. But the day belongs to Baylor and Sawyer Robertson, who's playing as well as any quarterback in the Big 12. He accounts for 4 touchdowns today, 3 through the air, 1 on the ground. And that running attack posted 343 yards overall. Just ridiculous. Baylor 4-4, back to 500. Started at the Baylor line, then the big plays. Baylor wins it 38-28 over Oklahoma State. And that'll do it from us. For Charles Arbuckle and our entire crew, Ted Emmerich saying so long from Waco.